Alright, chemists, today we're going to be making esters. You will have a lab sheet with you when you do this lab, so you don't have to write down the procedure that we do here, but I will be showing you what you should do, so when you read the instructions you can do it correctly. The first thing that you are going to want to do is to go get some goggles and put them over your eyeballs. This should not be on your head or on your neck, it should be over your eyeballs. You might want to tie your hair back and tuck in some loose clothing so that you're safe, especially in the chemistry lab. At your lab bench, you'll have a hot plate. You should get a 600 milliliter beaker. This is a fairly large beaker, 600 milliliters. Fill it about halfway with water. It doesn't have to be exact. And turn this on to about a medium heat, 5, 6, 7, somewhere around there. In your test tube rack, you should have 2 test tubes, one marked A and one marked B. And the first thing we're going to do is tell you what stuff you're going to put in test tube A. The stuff that you'll put in test tube A is over by the door, so we'll go there now. Esters are always made of an alcohol and an acid. This is concentrated acetic acid, which has a very strong smell. You'll be able to tell what it is immediately. And there is a pipette here whose neck is exactly 1 milliliter to the top right here. This is a half, 3/4, 1/4. We're going to want approximately 2 milliliters, so the best way to get that is to squeeze a little bit, dip it down so the tip is inside, and then suck until you have exactly 1 milliliter, or just about 1 milliliter, and then put that into your test tube. You're going to do the same thing again to get the second milliliter. Once you've gotten your glacial acetic acid, you're going to do the same thing with your isopentyl alcohol. And put the pipettes back when you're done. Then you're going to take test tube A over to the fume hood. The fume hood is where we put equipment that it might be volatile and have dangerous vapors. This is our concentrated sulfuric acid. What you're going to do, again there's a pipette, and you're going to grab a little bit of this and then put 6 to 8 drops, count them, it doesn't have to be exact again, into your test tube. Last thing, you're going to flick your test tube a little bit to mix it up. Don't shake it, you want to mix the contents though. And then you'll bring it to your lab station and put it into your hot water bath. While one partner is doing that, the other partner can be doing the stuff that goes into test tube B. In test tube B, you're going to have methyl alcohol, which will be at the front lab station, and you'll also, which is the same, you would gather the same way that you got the stuff for test tube A. You'll also be getting some solid salicylic acid. So you'll have to measure out about 0.4 grams of this. The best way to do this is you don't ever want to put chemicals directly onto your balance. So the best way is to grab a piece of paper or a balance sheet. I like to fold it in half one way and then fold it in half the other way and put my paper on top of there, on top of the balance. Turn this on and then tare, T-A-R-E, or some balances say 0, with the paper on it. Now, even though the paper is on it, it says 0. And so you're going to measure out 0.4 grams of salicylic acid. Again, it doesn't have to be exact. That is way too much. So this is a lot. Don't put this much on there. When you have the correct amount, you're again going to take test tube B to the fume hood, put 6 to 8 drops of sulfuric acid, flick it to mix it up, and you'll put that also into your hot water bath. You're going to leave this here for about 10 to 15 minutes. After about 10 to 15 minutes, you'll take out your test tube, and you never want to directly sniff chemicals, especially if you don't know exactly what they are, you want to waft them. And the correct wafting technique is this. You don't want to point this towards your face. You want to waft or bring the air from the test tube towards your nose. And you can bring it a little closer until you can start to smell a scent. There's actually nothing in here, but you'll be able to hopefully identify what the scent is and write it down on your lab sheet. Make sure that you write down some observations and read the analysis questions on your lab sheet.